It says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my Spirit." So usually we call this the latter rain. But according to the Bible, this comes to pass after the latter rain. For verse 23 says, "He will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain in the first month." Verse 28 says, "And it shall come to pass afterward," meaning after the former and the latter rain, "that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh." But even here, it still points to God's promise, God's covenant to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to return them to the land that he gave to their fathers. So that's, you can read that in verse 32 of Joel 2, going into chapter 3. It says, "And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call." So remnant, this is also a term that's being used for Jacob. "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and shall bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land." Which is what God told to Jacob. He says that they will be scattered, but he will bring them again into their own land, into the land of their fathers. So I just wanted to point out that in the Bible, when you see the latter rain in very close proximity to it, nearly every time, if not every time, it's referring to this covenant promise. Alright? And this also, in another study perhaps we can get into it, but this actually ties into Revelation chapter 10 and Revelation chapter 7, and really all throughout the Bible this same truth is taught. But hopefully hopefully you can see the basic points that are getting that I'm trying to put across in this study, which is that there are two classes of people in this church, one represented by Jacob, one represented by Esau. Esau has had his name changed to Edom, which means sin, and Jacob will have his name changed to Israel, which means one who overcomes, or prevailer, or it also means prince. So we have two classes of people. One persecutes the other. Esau persecutes Jacob. Jacob, as he's persecuted, receives a dream from the Lord, which Esau is completely ignorant of. Alright? Now, this dream, or this message, we should say, is the latter rain. Okay? And we know that for many reasons, but one reason is that it's showing Christ as the latter. And Christ is the object of that dream. And Christ, our righteousness, is the message of the latter rain, according to the spirit of prophecy. And Christ, our righteousness, the righteousness of the Lord, according to Micah 6:5, as well as Micah 6:5, as well as Numbers 23, the righteousness of the Lord is that he does not lie. Okay? Which is why in Jacob's dream, you see God telling Jacob the straight truth, that although they will be scattered throughout the world, God will gather them back to the land that he gave their fathers. And this is the word of the Lord, and this is what he is putting forth as his truth, which cannot be changed. The word of the Lord does not change. He is a man or God of his word. And yeah, as I said before, person who just typed this saying, "Interesting study, sorry I was here late. Perhaps I'll catch more of it next time." These studies, hopefully from now on, we will be recording, and they will be here on Ustream. So if anybody misses something or they can't make it, it should be up on Ustream so that they can view it later. But other than that, we could always have studies at any time as well. It just has to be organized if there wanted to be personal study or whatever it may be through Skype or again through Ustream or phone call, whatever it may be. But contact information, you can always contact us. ask.dsda@gmail.com. I don't know if you want that email, but anyone, if they wanted to email us, ask.dsda@gmail.com. So yeah, it's actually time for this study to close now. So we're going to have a quick prayer, and then we'll close out. We'll be getting into another study starting an hour from now, which is 7:30 Pacific Standard Time till 9 o'clock. And that study will be continuing on a study from last week. Last week's study was about Zechariah chapter 6. So please come for that study. It starts in about an hour. So yeah, we'll have a prayer now and close out. Our Father in heaven, I thank you so much for bringing us through this week, bringing us to the beautiful Sabbath rest. Help us to utilize the time that you've given to us as you would like us to. Help us to study your word and understand it and have the right spirit in order to receive your word and your spirit into our hearts. I pray that each one that was here at this study understands what was said. I pray that as time goes on, you give me more and more the ability to speak your word in a very clear way. So be with us all now as we enter into the Sabbath rest, and help us to be able to come back for the next study. I pray these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, and by the inspiration of the Holy Ghost. Amen. All right. God bless. Hopefully we'll see you guys sometime soon.